During talks with EU officials on Tuesday, Conservative Chief Whip Julian Smith warned that Parliament could force the UK into a permanent customs union with Brussels. Mr. Smith argued this could happen unless MPs approve the Prime Minister's Brexit deal. In comments reported by The Sun, Mr. Smith said, "A vote against the deal is a vote for delay and a vote that will end up with a customs union if Theresa May's withdrawal agreement is rejected again." Ministers fear MPs in the House of Commons will attempt to seize control of the exit process. This outcome could see Brexit delayed, the UK forced into a permanent customs union with the EU, and even the possibility of no Brexit at all. Last week, Jeremy Corbyn announced that the Labour Party could back a second referendum, sparking fears among eurosceptics that the result of the 2016 referendum could be betrayed. In 2005, the European Constitution was rejected in popular referendums in France and the Netherlands. However, in 2009, the EU agreed to the Lisbon Treaty, which, according to analysis at the time by London think tank Open Europe, had 96% of the text included in the constitutional treaty. The only country that put the Lisbon Treaty to a popular referendum was Ireland, and, in June 2008, the Irish people rejected it. David Heathcote Amery claimed Gordon Brown insulted the Irish voters over the Lisbon Treaty. Image Getty. Last week, Jeremy Corbyn announced that the Labour Party could back a second referendum. Image Getty. EU leaders, including former Prime Minister Gordon Brown, called for a period of reflection, and it passed following another referendum in October 2009. A former Conservative MP, David Heathcote Amery, brutally attacked Mr. Brown for asking the Irish voters to think about it again, and accused him of insulting not just the people of Ireland but British citizens and our Parliament as well. In an op-ed for the Evening Standard in 2009, Mr. Heathcote Amery said, according to Gordon Brown, the people of Ireland need time for reflection on their decision to reject the Lisbon Constitutional Treaty. Now, this remark is insulting on so many levels, it's difficult to know where to start. It insults the Irish, who have taken a clear democratic decision to reject this dreadful document. It insults the British people, who have been given no opportunity to reflect, to consider, or to vote on the treaty, despite Labour's promise in its 2005 manifesto that it would be the subject of a referendum. The only country that put the Lisbon Treaty to a popular referendum was Ireland. Image Getty. Gordon Brown signs the Treaty of Lisbon next to his Secretary of State Ed Miliband. Image Getty. It insults the British people, who have been given no opportunity to reflect, to consider, or to vote on the treaty, despite Labour's promise in its 2005 manifesto that it would be the subject of a referendum, and it insults our Parliament, which today, without any time for reflection of any kind, is going ahead with Britain's final ratification of the treaty. Despite Ireland's no vote, the former Conservative MP for Wells suggested that it was a lack of transparency and honesty that ultimately led a pro-EU nation such as Ireland to reject Lisbon. He explained, voters couldn't be sure what they were being asked to ratify, and the politicians were unable or unwilling to tell them. So they said no. It is an utter disgrace that they had that option and now hold the fate of Europe, including our own, in their hands, while our government denies this choice to the British people. Mr. Heathcote Amery also noted that it was not the first time a referendum had been repeated whenever the political elites did not get the outcome they hoped for. He wrote, "This is what happened when Ireland voted against the Treaty of Nice in a referendum in 2002. 6 months later, with the help of various special concessions, the Irish were given a second referendum in which they changed their mind, and the treaty went ahead. The British people weren't allowed a say then, either."